Well, hello everyone, and welcome to our latest video brought to you by your friends at the Zakuski Group. I'm Dion Zakuski, Branch Manager, Portfolio Manager, and Senior Wealth Advisor here at Scotia Wealth Management. And since our last video, we've had a roller coaster of world trade tensions, market recovery, and of course the NHL playoffs. But we'll leave those NHL playoffs to our friends at Sportsnet. On the finance side, today we're going to check out some year-to-date market action. We're going to look at what's shaking with interest rates these days. And we're going to provide some strategy as we head towards the second half of 2025. Finally, we'll have our associate Bond come by to give clarity around estate planning and what probate is all about here in Alberta. So let's begin to where we've come so far in 2025. After a robust start in January, we saw a downturn thanks to uncertainty around the global economy, trade tariffs, and this all lasted until about early April. Since then, we've seen kind of a less bad might be good scenario with improving trade talks that has brought markets back into the positive side for the year. In Canada, the TSX has delivered solid gains and has even hit a few record highs along the way. We've seen rebounds in industrials, energy, utilities, and even the financial sector has held steady, which is a good signal for broader economic health. On the global side, US markets led by their S&P 500 have recovered and are back in the green for the year. It's encouraging that this rally is broadening beyond just the technology sector. We've seen healthcare, consumer sectors, and infrastructure participating, which tells us this is more of a durable market story. Across the pond, European markets have quietly been performing very well and have had even stronger gains than the American counterparts. We'll take a look at a more detailed scorecard here. Right now we're showing year-to-date performance as of the end of May, we don't have quite June's yet, and how different markets have performed around the world. Looking at the far right, we can see the American S&P 500 is just scratching a gain for the year. Moving left, the TSX, being the Canadian market, is up in the single digits. And then moving more left, we see European markets doing very, very well. The German market has returned over 20%. With that, we've made model additions for companies based on their performance, including SAP Software, the Deutsche Börse, which is the German stock exchange, etc. So switching to interest rates, we've seen more cuts from the Bank of Canada as well this year. The central bank made its recent cut back in March and will likely remain gradual throughout the remainder of this year. That shift is thanks to inflation finally stabilizing, running closer to their 2% target. Economic growth is coming in softer, but is still positive. So this easing of rates has important implications. Number one, it reduces pressure on household debt, obviously. It supports real estate and dividend yielding sectors. And third, it restores balance in defensive instruments such as bonds, which can sometimes be overlooked. In the United States, rates have held steady throughout the year, but may be lowered here in the second half, which is very positive for us as investors. So how do we respond strategically? Now, this is a market that rewards discipline, not reaction. It's a principle I share often with clients, and it's never been more relevant than now. The first half of 2025 was as wild as my tee shots on the golf course, but with lowering trade tensions, a stable US economy, and potential for investor-friendly interest rate cuts, we believe the second side of this year should be rewarding for investors. And as we move towards that second half of the year, there are three key priorities our team is focused on. Number one, balance is your foundation. Blend growth with defensiveness. Canadian dividends, US growth companies, and select international exposure can all complement each other very well. Second is fixed income and alternatives are definitely relevant. With interest rates coming off their peaks, bond prices are recovering, and holding bonds and pension-style investments such as private credit, real estate, and private equity can all offer solid yield without taking on more excessive risk in a portfolio. And last is stay aligned with your plan. Trade wars, ongoing geopolitical tensions will all create short-term market noise. But our financial plans aren't built for the short term, they're built for the long term. We need to stay grounded in it. Next, we're going to switch over to estate planning and what probate is all about here in Alberta. We'll bring in Mr. Bond. Thanks, and have a great summer.
A quick overview of the probate process here in Alberta. All right, when somebody passes away here in Alberta, and they've left behind some treasures and maybe a few bills. How do we make sure that that everything goes to the right people? That's where probate comes in. It's basically the official stamp from the court that says this is the real deal and this executor is in charge. So the executor, who's usually named in the will, rounds up all the important papers, including the will, death certificate, any list of assets that the departed owned and owed, and then they send this whole package to the court. The court reviews it and makes sure that that the will is legit, and then issues a grant of probate. Once the official stamp of approval is received, the executor gets down to business. They pay off the debts, they pay off any taxes, and finally they distribute the remaining assets to the beneficiaries, just as the will instructed. This legal process makes sure that everyone gets what's coming to them and things are handled fairly and above board. The fee in Alberta isn't even that scary, maxing out at $525 for most estates, which is a pretty good deal, ensuring that peace of mind. It can take a few months, but it's all about making sure that the final wishes go off without a hitch. While the executor has authority from the moment of death, the grant of probate provides the legal backing necessary to deal with many third parties and formally wind up the estate. We would recommend executors seek legal assistance from a will and estate lawyer to navigate this process. If you're looking for clarity and confidence for your wealth management, or know someone who is, please contact us. As a trusted team of high net worth individuals and families across Canada, our sophisticated portfolio management approaches and personalized strategies consistently deliver exceptional results. Contact us anytime.